Welcome to this session today on how to manage and collaborate your project in the cloud. I'm Richard Morrow, an engagement engineer with Imaginate. We're going to walk through this today. Part of this will be a PowerPoint presentation and part of this live. So with the agenda, what we're going to work through over the next half an hour or so, we'll be looking at the challenge of managing your data. With engineering, our data is unique, and it's a lot to managing that data. It has relationships with other pieces and parts, and how to manage all those relationships is key to being able to work with that data, right? And the challenge of the data as we get a more complicated environment and people working in different areas. So how do we communicate and be able to collaborate together anywhere, anytime, from any location is key. And the challenge of having a real-time project access, whether you're in the field, whether you're in the office, or even at home. There's lots of different scenarios that we have out there going on, and everybody needs to collaborate and work together on the project data. So we're going to kind of walk through that today and give you an idea of how you can take advantage of that. So, with that being said, we got to design smarter and build faster, right? So when you start looking at this from a utilities perspective, electricity, we're using more and more electricity. So that's requiring us to be faster and more efficient on how we work together, how we collaborate, and how we deliver, and how we maintain and operate our facilities, right? So, as we look at this through substations going through, there's going to have to be many more substations designed to handle the loads that are coming and the future loads that we're going to need. But the challenge is, how do you do that? How do you do it and enable a data-driven environment and collaborate with all the teams with the projects? And how do you keep them connected? So again, the key to keeping them connected is working together, having that collaboration, being able to improve productivity, avoid rework is a key thing here. Working with the design tools in a real-time environment. Next is flexibility. You need to have the flexibility to be able to work anywhere and anytime and access that data. Being able to take advantage of your authoring tools, right? To be able to be working at home, be working in the field, be able to make those changes that you need to be able to do, be able to review that data, even create markups. And this would be whether it's horizontal, vertical projects, any of those type of things. You need to have that access, and you need them to be powerful, right? So as you come in here, we need to have that information where it's secure. It's with a main provider, where your data is also secure, powerful. It helps keep it avoid of ransomware, things like that, and being able to have insights into that project, right? So you can tell if your project's falling behind or if these markups haven't been done by the time they were supposed to be done. So things like that to kind of give you an idea of the health of your project as you go through there. Being able to locate the project visually is a key thing. So when you look at substations, you can be able to find those substations on a map and go there. Maybe you don't know the name of it, but you can go locate it on the map and be able to get to that project very quickly. So those are key things that help you as you move through and looking at that information and data. So one thing that I've noticed over the time, we've improved from where we used to be, right? Now we're collaborative, but yet we're still fragmented. So think about different silos, or in this case, different silos being from a design aspect. We're collaborating better within design, so from hydrology to survey, to, whatever that may be here, water, whatever you're designing, power, we're able to collaborate over here better from the design, but then planning's off doing its own thing, collaborating internally. Build is over on the construction side. They're recreating everything still and constructing and building that over here, and they're all on their own. And then finally, you have the owners that are operating and managing the facilities, right? So they're fragmented as they are currently. So we've made improvements, but we're still not quite there because you need a common data environment to really make that all work. And so, the possibilities start with a connected collaboration. So this is where drawings, models, teams, assets, cost, data, insights, everything's running within this common data environment. Now those different areas are able to communicate together, being able to work together, and that's key to avoid rework, improve efficiencies, and just overall design. So that's where the cloud comes into play here in a common data environment. So when you're with Autodesk in the construction cloud in the common data environment, we basically have a few different areas we're looking at here. One of the main areas is down across here, which is I call the foundational piece. That's really the data management side of this that allows you to handle models and drawings, issues, RFIs, all the thing, photos, videos, as well as some of the insights into your project and how that's going and getting reports and dashboards. But really the heart of that common data environment. So, this is also gives you the spot that's going to give you unlimited data and unlimited projects, gives you the automatic versioning of that where it's all controlled for you, all that information and have all access to all that data, including markups and everything else. So that's great. And then from when you get into here, you start looking at now you need tools to add to information. So I'm really focused on the design side for this, but this is where you end up with that piece that you need from a design side to allow that design collaboration, the ability to work with tools such as Plant 3D, Civil 3D, Revit, some of those tools out there where you have those interactions and collaborations naturally, but being able to do those collaborations not from a network drive, but from a cloud environment is key. And that's really what pushes and allow us to collaborate that project up in the cloud. And then also having all the other teams that can be involved throughout this process. So really it's great to have that common data environment as you work through there. So cloud project management. So this is kind of the interface here for ACC. You look at that, you're going to have document management control, which we just talked about. Document control can have approvals as well going through those set of approvals that the documents have to go through, such as maybe a 30, 60, 90, a work in progress to reviewed to approved that controls the actions as those documents move through those approvals and things like that. Full set of markup tools, being able to mark up on the design, not just the PDFs, and maybe being able to make some of those corrections sooner than later, before you have to go publish all the PDFs and do those type of things. So just give you a lot more ways to look at those things and make those additions and changes as you move through there. And as I mentioned before, it's collaboration anywhere, anytime, with anyone, but with anyone is the people having the correct permissions to the amount of data that they need within the project. So it's secure and giving the right people the right access at the right time based on their permissions. It's very easy to maintain permissions here, recreate projects and permissions and what those people have, whether it be roles or groups or by company. Very easy ways to control those permissions and security. Again, those permissions allow you to come in here, manage access for external users. So you need to be able to collaborate not just within your company, but outside your company is too, with the external contributors. So a nice thing is they can come in with access. You can give them access and they can come in, whether that be the contractor or an external person doing part of the design. You can all do that and have access and be able to have that to the same common data environment. And again, permissions are configurable, user, role, company, as I mentioned earlier. So these are all key things as you go through here, being able to set up that within that common data environment. And here's that insight I was talking to you earlier, and we'll look at that when we get in here. Looking at your dashboard, you have a project location. You can come in here and check out project issues, when they're due, if they're past due, the weather at the project. So one thing nice about this is when you look at it from a substation perspective, you can check out what the weather is on the timeline within that area, because maybe you are going to go out to that project. So you can get information about that project, where it is, very quickly before you make that haul to be on site there. Make sure you have the latest information. And then not only that, when you go on site, you have access to all that information right at your fingertips from your phone or your tablet. We look at collaboration in a couple different ways. So one way is you can work just as you would from a network drive, where everybody has access and permissions based on their groups or roles and the rights that you have for those different folders. And that's what we would call a high trust environment. But what if you have lots of people you're working outside with, right, on the project or doing different aspects, and you don't want them to see everything until it's ready to be seen, right? So that's where collaboration comes into play here. So that allows you to come in here and share out information that can then be consumed. And so what that means is, so say from here, landscape is creating the site for a building or a structure. So landscape is building this out and correcting that and getting that done. The rest of these other groups here do not see landscapes until they're ready, right? So and then when they're ready, they can publish their information out, which then everybody else has the chance to review and consume into their project. So it's a way to work through that and be able to view and the information that you're bringing across. So that's definitely one key thing. And again, the next thing I would look into is markups here. There's lots of tools out there that a lot of people are using. In a lot of cases, the markups that come in with here are metadata that's added onto the information, whether it be PDF or drawings. It gives you the ability to do that right here, and it's keeping track of that. It also can tie into issues and be assigned to somebody, put a timeline on when they're due. So it keeps track of all that information for you. So it's the markups, but in this common data environment here, it gives them the ability to really go through that whole life cycle, making sure that it's all getting done, getting notifications to the different people that are involved, getting notifications when it's been closed. So you can go then review it with a side-by-side or tracing table type overview, where you can see if the corrections have been made correctly. So it's really cool how that all works very well. You can also send transmittals back and forth, create review workflows, as I mentioned earlier. And so it's just a really powerful system that take advantage of that's in that common data environment. Um, you can come in here and do analysis and scoping and look at the inventory. We also can look at project management here and things like this. This is more getting onto the build side of this and keeping your projects on track. So you can bring in information in here and be able to populate that out, again, through Microsoft Project, P6, whatever that may be, bring that in. And this is again tied into that build side of that and getting into managing those RFIs and issues from the field. But really what we're looking at here is building a robust ecosystem, right? And the key thing is that common data environment. And when you look at that, you're looking at the project through its life cycle, and you're looking at, the workforce being able to collaborate together. You might have to be tying in the budget and planning into this as well, right? Site safety, maybe even reality capture, different things like that. Document and file management all the way to data and analytics. So keeping all that through that whole life cycle is key. And within the common data environment, what is key, and within the Autodesk Construction Cloud here, you see is having it be an open format. And that open format allows different companies out there to tie into that system so that they can be able to get information that you may need to pull from them or feed to them, bi-directional, single direction, whatever the case may be. And these are just a few of the more over than 200 now partners that I have working with Autodesk Construction Cloud to come in and build those relationships to fill that, whether it be in workforce collaboration, financials, safety, project management, reality capture as well, mixed reality, and document and file management, right? So different ones to be able to where you may want to push that data or pull data from. Having all those relationships is key as the Autodesk Construction Cloud moves forward with that common data environment. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what that looks like. So I'm at my screen that lists out all the projects that I have been given access to. So I have a few of them here, and that's within our hub because you create your own hub. So if I come in here, I can come in here and there's showing me I'm at my Imaginet hub. So you would either be invited to someone's hub or you would have your company's hub, and that's where you would be going getting access to that information. As an account admin, you can see what you have all this access to all the information here, which is very easy to use and go through. I can go to my home. And this is the page that kind of gives you a dashboard into your projects that you have access to. It allows you to know that, in this case, I have 7 issues that are overdue. I have kind of keeps track of that. I have 2 of them that don't have a date on. And so this is a quick dashboard to kind of tell you about the health of your project right there. If those are getting behind, you might want to take a look at what's going on. This is just ones that were assigned to me. If you come in here and look here, you can see that we have different projects that I've been assigned to. So if I come in here and look, there's projects in Orlando and Florida that I've been part of. You can see that I have different ones across the country, some in Kansas here, and I have a project here that we're going to take a look at today that's in Denver. So what's cool about this here is this is where you could tie these in and look at different utilities or substations or projects and have that location of that information here. So I can zoom right in and I can see where this project is here, right? So I can come in here and go ahead and click on this, and let's just go to Docs. And again, Docs is that foundational piece, the data management side of this. So that's where I'm really going to focus on that today, and that's where that common data environment comes into play. So as long as I could give you access to this project here within our hub, and you would be able to work just as fast as I do right now and collaborate together with me on this. I've done that with some counterparts here at Imaginet. They're on the West Coast working fine, and we've done this live, and it works awesome where he'll come in and as a markup person or reviewer, make some changes. I get the email, I go through, make those changes, close it out. And we did that a live time on a meeting, so that works really well. We did a webinar where we worked around and did that. Again, this folder structure can be anything you want it to be. This is just one I created. Some key things to note here again is the unlimited data and unlimited projects. That's huge. And when you're with Docs, if you have the AEC collection, you already have Docs, right? So you already have access to setting all this up. So everything I have right now, if you have AEC, you basically can do. One of the things that's really unique in here is that nothing is ever deleted. And what do you mean by that? Well, it's always there. And there's a way that you can archive projects off and things like that. But the key thing is if you deleted a file, you can come in here and go to, so say if I go to design and civil here, I can come in here and say deleted items. You can see all these different files I deleted, when I deleted them, and all I have to do is highlight that and hit restore, and it'll bring that file back. So one cool thing about that, not only did it bring the file back, it brings all the versions that were with that file. So I had a company that was going through and reviewing this, and and had just moved into using the cloud. And they called me on a Friday because they had a deadline and somebody had deleted a file and they didn't know how to get it back and they were panicked. Um, and you said that nothing was ever deleted, so it's not here. We can't figure it out. So I walked them through that process. Within 30 seconds, we had that file back and all 47 versions of that file, and they were able to meet their deadline. So they were really happy with that. So get in here and look at that. The other thing I want to talk about is versions, right? So if I look down here, you can see my master file here. And I have 38 versions in this master file. And you can see it's all right here. One thing awesome about working in this cloud and the common data environment is everything you're getting automatically, these versions. I'm not having to create my own backup system for what I need. It's saving it, date stamping it, and telling you who did. So if I wanted to make that drawing current, I can hit make current here, and it would just make that the latest version, right? So that's what's awesome about that. It's that easy. I don't have to go to IT to digging up a backup and doing those things. Also, it supports basically all the different any file format type. So when you come in here, even Excel, it's going to use my 365. When I come in here, I can look at Excel right in here from the web. I can open it up through Excel if I wanted to use Excel, but I can come in right in here and make changes and see all those different tabs. So I can also check it out right here if I wanted to go edit it and make changes. So you have access to all that information right here. If I come down here and look with the markups and things like that, I can come into here, put different markups. I can create an issue, assign that to someone. I can even come in here and do what we call a design compare. We come in here and do that. This is where I can compare versions. So as a reviewer, this is really nice. I can come in and make sure that they closed out the issues I put in there. Did they actually go get them done? And I can come in here and look and see that, okay, I told them in this case, say I told them to add in the site contours here, and that was added in, right? You can see gray, everything's the same. And if I deleted anything, it would have been in blue. That's nice. I can also come here and do a side-by-side of this. So I can very easily see what has changed by doing a side-by-side comparison as I slide through, almost like an old light table type thing. Very easy to use, very powerful. If you wanted to, working with different structures you may have, right? So I could have a bridge. If I come down here and look at my bridge, this again going and looking at a Revit file. So if I had different structures I had within here, I can actually view these structures within my Revit file. And again, this is a viewer that just comes with docs. I can look at my different 3D views I may have in here. I can also come in here and look at 2D views. So I can come in here and look at my different 2D views I may have, select those. There's my sheet right here. You can see where that sheet was built from that 2D view. Oops, the wrong button there. Let me go back to it. And let me go back to the sheet here and go back to 2D views. And I can turn those off here. Oh, let's do this one. And so I wanted to do is come in here and show you how that sheet was created. So right from the viewer here, I can come in and do a section of that's coming through. And you can see, I can see all the rebar in there and everything in there. And that's coming right from this model, right? So this is the sheet where that information was generated from. So that's really cool to be able to do that. So it's really that common data environment crosses all your different design that you would need. Again, a lot of collaboration tends to go between Revit, Plant 3D, and Civil 3D, and so you have all those collaborations that you can have going on there as well. PDFs are, all these different file formats are supported in here. You can even bridge from other projects if you wanted to. So things like that are really key in being able to use this. It's very user friendly, being able to go back and forth. Setting permissions is very easy. They're set right here. Projects can be templateized and then put those permissions in there. So very quickly you can, in minutes, create a new project. So those are all important things that make it really easy to be collaborative in a common data environment. And again, with the design collaboration that you can look at, if you're working with, different outside vendors and things like that, you might want to look with through there, which will give you the ability to then come in here and look at these different changes that you may want. And that's where you can come in here and look at the different things, the different packages that were put together. So you can see that different packages are put together, what drawings were part of that package. And you can go to the dates and look. So if I had more of them in here, they would show up at a time. That's where you can see the different information. And then those different groups have the ability to consume those packages. So that's really the design collaboration side of it. A lot of people call them swim lanes and things like that. That's where you can create them and send them out and save those. Model coordination allows you also to do class detection in the web up there. So those are key. So those are really important things that you can do around there. One of the other things I wanted to do is just come look at from a civil side here. I have a drawing that's my site grading for my substation here in this case. And so one of the key things that working with ACC that's unique for Plant 3D, for Civil 3D, for Revit, is their internal relationships they have within their own program. Revit with work sharing. You have Revit with work sharing. You have Civil 3D with data shortcuts and sheet set manager. Plant 3D with its database and the relationships there. What's nice about this is it's able to understand those different relationships, even when it's up in the cloud. So example here, I just have my drawing here that I've laid out. It has my information that makes up my subdivision here site, but I don't have my existing surface. So I do have it shared out there as a data shortcut. So I can come in here and right click and say create reference, just like you normally would. And so this gives me now, I'm not on the network drive, I'm actually working in the cloud and collaborating. You have real-time speed. You actually have speed that's faster than a network drive. And the reason being is you have projects that are cached here. So this cached project, if I go to my projects here, you can see that I have that information saved in here. If I go to my design and civil, you can see I have all the green check marks. So that's what's going to allow this to run so fast. I have projects maybe I'm working on every day. I can have those, keep those up to date. Other ones that I'm not working on every day may just have a cloud symbol by them like this. So kind of gives you the best of both worlds here is what I'd like to say. So I got my existing surface here. Now I wanted to grade this out, right? So I made that data reference. If you look up here, you can see that I have my surface in here right here that I brought in. I just data referenced in that existing surface right there. And now I could come over here, for example, and run my analyzation of this and optimize this out. Pick a surface here. Oops, get productivity out of the way. And that's opening up right now. It'll take a second to open up. It's going on my other screen, of course. Let me pull it over here. So now I can take in here and very quickly from the cloud and share this off with everybody that's involved in the project. I can come in and optimize and grade out my project here. And you can see that now, based on the grading criteria, I'm coming out here very quickly and creating my substation design right here on the fly. And now that's done. And now I can update my drawing. And I can give that surface a name. I'll give it my own, create a new surface here, or update an existing one. I'll just give it a new one called proposed site, and hit finish. So as I do that real quickly, now I can do that. And what I wanted to show you here is now I can share that out to my data shortcut as well. So there we have our proposed design that we just did here, right here on the fly for this substation site. And so now I can come over here and save my drawing out. And I can come over here and say create a data shortcut, just like you normally would here. And I can say I want to save out my proposed site we just created. And now if I come down in here, I have my proposed site as a data shortcut. And just show you how well this all works in collaborating, I'll create a new drawing here. And I'm going to create that template from my project. I have project template in here. I'll just grab that template here, open it up, make a brand new empty drawing in here. I do have the photo turned on so we can see it. Here's our project here. And you can see that I don't have any surfaces here, but I can come down here, the one we just did on the fly here, proposed site, create a data reference. And we want to make that different. Let's make that the proposed. Oops, wrong one. Proposed design. Say OK. And there we just use that in a new drawing we just created. And there's our substation site with it all graded out based on the, using grading optimization to build that out. So really easy. That's all it is that you have to do. And collaborating in the cloud. One of the key things here when you're doing that, we come in here and look. You can see that I have, I'm in the wrong folder. I'm in, oh, I don't remember where I put it. Oh, I think I did it under here. Yeah, substation. So you'll notice here that my site grading, I'm saving that file right now, but you can see I opened it up right here as I'm working through that just a few minutes ago. And so I just hit save, so it's created a version 30 now, and it's going through and doing that process. So that's really all there is to doing that. It's really straightforward, really easy to do that information and go through there. I can come in here and view that site that we're working on. Now there it is that we just did on the fly, right? So pretty powerful stuff. It's a great way to go through here and be able to collaborate as a team in the cloud. So let me open this back up here. So in conclusion, look at the challenges: data management, project collaboration, and real-time project access, whether you're in the field or the office. So hopefully I showed you that from a civil perspective today, where we took and built and graded out a substation. We did that on the fly using a common data environment and was able to share that data back and forth. We're able to look at and view, do markups, all those things from the cloud. So in conclusion, this is a great system for a common data environment that allows you to do all those things that you need here in real-time access. Thank you. Gaddy, I'm done. Can you hear me?
I can. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So that gives you something to work with anyways.
Yep. Wonderful. We can use this as on demand.
All right, perfect.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.